Welcome back to Crash and Eddie. I'm Eddie. Crash, what's going on?
Hey, hey, hey. A lot of stuff going on. Really exciting day, as usual, here in the booming metropolis
Yeah, no kidding. Of Crypto Land?
of crypto land. Yes.
Liechtenstein. What do you know about Liechtenstein?
Uh, doesn't ring a bell.
No, it's supposed to be the crypto. It's supposed to be some elitist crypto little country over in Europe. And I think they were one of the first to like really get into crypto, like get all their laws in order and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when you make it
I haven't really,
huge,
haven't really heard anything about them.
yeah, we're gonna
I
when you
did
make
hear
it huge,
that,
we're gonna have a beer over there.
yeah, sounds good. I did hear that the mayor of Miami wants to take over uh, the city of Miami as the crypto capital of the United States from New York.
Did you really?
That's what he said. And I'm all
Wow.
for that. I think Miami's way better place to go than New York.
That kind of figures too. They're very international, you know.
Oh yeah, all tons of Europeans go there to vacation.
Yeah, that would bleed right over to Orlando too. I'm sure they're that's pretty interesting. Hmm.
Yeah.
Had
Yeah.
not heard that. So Bitcoin back up to almost 40. I think it did get right at 40, but
Yeah. Yeah. Can I make a comment on that?
can
There
I?
was, if you look at the charts, there was a very clear head and shoulders developing yesterday that could have been a really strong indicator of a switch to a bear market. And boy, right at the last minute before it went below the threshold, it just started shooting up. It was unbelievable. But if you look at it, I mean, another thing I saw in the news was that Toro,
Hmm.
they can't even buy Bitcoin to supply to their customers. There's such a demand right now and such a small supply. The number of people who are holding Bitcoin and not um, trading it or selling it is off the scale right now.
Yeah, there's not. And what is it? 900 a day, I think, are made, and they're just all gobbled up.
Yeah.
Way to catch the head and shoulders crash. I see that for the audience. Beautiful chart
Yeah.
analysis.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Okay.
I've forgotten more than most people know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're gonna call these. Let's call them coin intros instead of coin reviews, right?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
So we're gonna do how do versus theta, which we're thinking is kind of appropriate due to because these are both like video platforms, basically, right?
Yeah, there's actually two platforms that are running on the Udoo um, cryptocurrency, which runs
It's
on an Ethereum. It's an Ethereum ERC20
okay.
token.
What
So
are
you
the
want me?
two platforms?
Well, one is called Hyper, and Hyper is more of a video um, platform, kind of like a YouTube. However, one of the big problems that people have with YouTube is that the monetization of content is it's a real issue. Um, and people get kicked off for whatever social reason, and they've spent years and years building up a revenue source, and on the flip of a switch, it's gone. So this hyper has been developed to um, you control your content completely, and there's a whole bunch of ways you can make revenue while putting your content out there. And I actually put a couple videos up just to try it out. It's very smooth, very clean, um, pretty easy to figure out, and that's the kind of use case I like to see in a small startup and a coin that's only 2 cents right now. Then
Right.
the other one is Howdo, HOWDOO, and that's more of a social network.
Okay, so
Uh,
wait, so back up for a second. So these coins, like the how do you do UDOO, that coin is at 3 cents.
yeah, now it's at 3 cents. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
Yesterday.
that's the same coin you're talking about.
Yeah, it's UDOO. It's like
Okay.
ranked like 9,000 or 900 and something.
Yeah, it's up to
Like market cap.
526 now. It's on the move. It's on the
Oh yeah.
move. Yeah, okay.
So okay, so that token runs two different platforms. One's more of a video platform, which is called Hyper, HYPRR, and then the social media network is the Howdo, HOWDOO. And I encourage people to go check those out if you're,
Okay, what's the hyper one?
HYPRR, Hyper.
HY.com.
I don't know. I gotta. I can check
I'm pulling it up right now.
my bookmarks.
Looks like, yeah, looks like it is .com and that is a video. Okay. It's a lot different than how do.
Yeah, but if you look at the logos, they're very similar.
Yeah, right. Yep. Okay. Same token runs both of them. Interesting. We got to get both those up. That's good. Okay.
hmm So just one to keep an eye on. I did. A friend of mine just picked some up yesterday, and the only place the place he picked it up on was an exchange called X Markets. It's based out of the British Isles.
God, that's what kills me about these little guys. There's such opportunities, but it's like, where can you get it
You
now?
know, it only took me a few minutes. There was no KYC to open up the X Markets exchange. I helped him transfer some funds from some ether and over to the platform, and he used that to buy some of the Udoo.
So X Markets has USDT pairing and and an Ether pairing. It looks like it's also on
Correct.
Uniswap, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't worked on Uniswap at all. Well, and
Yeah.
it's on KuCoin too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever used them?
I started to, but I always bail out when I get to the KYC part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. Okay. So that's an interesting one. So coin wise, that sucker is, where are we here? So what are the tokenomics on this thing? I mean, I don't want to get into a full review, but okay, so it's 271 million um, tokens with a total supply of 888 million. So it's under a billion. I mean,
Yeah, and it's
it's not
actually going to
bad.
be kind of like crypto.com uses Crow as their operating system, and it's their token that they run on their platform.
Right.
Uh, this Udoo is going to be, there's going to be lots of, everybody's going to be paid in Udoo, and you're going to be tipping people, and everything's going to be done in Udoo.
Hmm. Well,
So
we're gonna have to check that out for Crash and Eddie, maybe, huh?
yeah, well, let's let it grow a little bit. It's not anything I want to recommend for anybody because it's highly speculative at this point. But
Right.
uh, what I would encourage people to do is just go to the hyper and go to um, how do and start using them. Set up an account and start using them because the more people who use them, the quicker we can get away from the tyranny of Facebook and YouTube and all these other places.
Yeah, this is really timely. That's why we're doing these two tokens. But I see they have a Medium page too. I went to off that
What do
link.
you what do you mean a Medium page?
Medium is a social media that
Oh, oh yeah. I
kind of
think
a
they're on.
blog site. You know,
Yeah, they're on Twitter. I started following them on Twitter. Um,
interesting. Okay, so the one I was looking at is it's a little more mature. I think the team's a little different, but it's Theta. So this one is they just launched their. I mean, they're on their like third version of their mainnet. So, and they have these guys are, I believe, they're ex YouTube employees actually.
And their business model is to put out video content, right?
Yeah, it's basically a YouTube on the blockchain is kind of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Monetization, but they don't stifle their audiences and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, um,
So they've been around back since May of 18. No,
yeah,
no, they haven't been around that long. Let's see, January,
they
September, May.
yeah, I don't know if they were they were formed a while back, but I don't think they launched until like maybe
19.
19 or
Oh
something.
no, their chart goes all the way back to 18.
Yeah, they're
2000.
on a lot more sites. I mean, it's just more mature of a coin. Now
Yeah.
that one's over $2.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching it since it was like 30 cents. The exchanges are kind of exploding on it. So it's a lot more mature, but it's interesting. I mean, there's a need for this stuff, and it's just another example of everything you can think of is going on the blockchain.
Yep.
It's just that simple, including voting, right? Is there a need for voting on the blockchain, do you think, Crash?
There is absolutely a need for it. Come on, you're teasing me.
I mean, we don't get into politics on this channel, but we know people want to vote, and we know they want their vote to count. So,
Yes.
so anywho, oh, why I was on Tether. Good. Yeah, I was on. I'm like, oh, their exchanges are really exploding because I was on Tether.
Oh,
Um,
you're on the wrong.
ah, but
Let's jump. Maybe
okay.
we should go back. I was looking at Theta.
Theta, yeah, you were talking. We were, yeah. So, anywho, yeah, this says less markets. They're getting bigger, but it's not as many as Tether. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but
They're on a lot of markets. Look at that. I mean, I'm down to 34 different markets.
yeah, so it's out there. It's out there. It's
Yeah, I hear a lot of buzz about Theta.
yeah. Binance. I mean, once you get on Binance, you're pretty good. You know what I mean? As far as markets go, Binance or
Yeah.
Coinbase.
The one thing to think about though, and it kind of concerns me, is that it's not difficult to come up with a technology and a platform to take on YouTube, but it's going to be very, very difficult. They have so much money. They have so much branding. Boy, they're really going to have to tick people off to really lose that market share. But
It's interesting. I wonder if they're losing market share. I suppose,
I don't know.
boy, I'd love to see for 20 if they lost any, but I mean, they're ticking a lot of people off. You hear a lot of complaints about YouTube.
Yeah, and I know I heard something about Facebook losing a lot of money in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, and there again, they're
But it's all change to them. They don't care.
no, they're buying. There'll get it'll probably get bought. That's the thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
once you're on the blockchain, it's such a game changer. I mean, you can, you're not going to really get shut down. You're not buying a blockchain company. I feel like is a lot different than buying a different company because there's things that are put in place that are going to be really hard to unwind.
yeah. Maybe Trump will buy Theta.
You never know. Yeah. You never know. So, news. What do you want to talk about? We got some interesting
Yeah,
news stuff. You
yeah,
want to play that?
yeah. Let's go ahead and do that IMF for
This is the infamous Christine Lagarde talking about Bitcoin. Here we go.
The most recent developments upward and now the most recent downward trend. For those who had assumed that it might turn into a currency, terribly sorry, but this is an asset and it's a highly speculative asset. which has conducted some funny business and some interesting and totally reprehensible money laundering activity. I think that there are criminal investigations that have taken place that I'm sure will continue to take place that demonstrate it very clearly. And there has to be regulations, and this has to be applied and agreed upon. It's a matter that needs to be agreed at a global level, because if there is an escape, that escape will be used. So I think it needs to be if anything, it shows that global cooperation, multilateral action is absolutely needed, whether it's initiated by the G7, moved into the G20, and then enlarged, but it's something that needs to be addressed. And FATF is clearly an organization that has expanded in that respect.
Wow. Okay.
Christine.
Three notes I took there. Bitcoin is highly speculative. Highly speculative. What did they say? Also, she said, basically the strong arm of the government is required here. And if there's an avenue to escape from what? The control of central government?
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, banks run it all, and these central banks run it all. And although we are huge fans of Christine Lagarde.
Oh, I love her.
This is what I took out of it is global. And what was that last term that she said? Something is going to take, what was that? Listen to this.
And then enlarged, but it's something to be addressed. And FATF is clearly an organization.
FATF is what is FATF?
That must be some like FinCEN.
It's not. I know. I would think it would be FinCEN, because that's kind of the global police that they've set up to regulate all this stuff. So FAT. I wonder if that's a futures. We're gonna have to look into that.
I don't know. It's kind of like remember when Kerry, when everybody was talking about Al Qaeda, all of a sudden he's talking about Daesh.
Yeah.
they like change up terminology in the middle of debates and to confuse people.
Yeah, right. Or maybe that she's introducing a new organization that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, new organizations strictly to try to destroy or capture Bitcoin.
Crush Bitcoin, man. It's always about the few dominating the many. And at some point, are 200 people going to be able to control 7.8 billion? I don't know. My money's on the 7.8 billion at some point.
And with blockchain, we're not going to need them.
Yeah.
And things are going to be trusted.
Yeah, and people want real money. They want control over their money. They want privacy. Hey, guys, every time they collect our information for anything, it's like, it's interesting. MetaMask came out and said, we're not doing KYC. This came out like in the last week. We're not doing it. And the reason why, I get it. Every time you give your private information, it gets hacked and taken. It's ridiculous. Why are we giving KYC when you can't keep it under wraps?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I think KYC is going to go away or go only on the blockchain. It's ridiculous, these places. I mean, look at what Ledger did. I mean, you heard about that. I was going to do a separate video, but thanks, guys. Now I got friends calling me that have crypto that are all hacked because their stuff got put out there from Ledger.
Yeah, and it's not, and there's all these scams now that are trying to get because they know who to target.
Yeah.
Somebody said they got a scam. I saw somebody forward an email or something they got pretending to be Ledger. So just be careful out there. Don't, when it comes to Ledger, don't do anything without being sure that you're directly in contact with Ledger.
Yeah, only go into your account the way you usually do. Don't click on anything if you get an email from them, because it's most likely not from them. And as soon as you click it, you unleash everything into your computer. So do not click on a ledger email under any circumstances. And there's a variety of stuff they're doing now, you know.
Yeah, it's all
Freaking
trickery.
French hackers, man. They're now you're in European hacking area and they're just
Yeah.
you know, and it's like your ledger, really? You couldn't put it on a blockchain? What are you
Yeah.
doing? It's kind of it's a little bit suspicious, is it? Because this stuff's all being pushed to the blockchain. So just like the voting, it's suspicious. It's all set up so that we're just crying to have everything on the blockchain so we can conduct
Hmm.
anything. I mean,
Yeah.
frustrating, man.
So what about that U.S. charter for the first cryptocurrency bank?
Um,
You got that one to pull up?
where is that sucker? You came up with that. That was brilliant too. Where is that
It's
thing?
on fortune.com.
Hold on here, people.
Here,
So
yeah.
yeah, we got okay, what so you want to explain this one, Crash?
Sure. So we saw Kraken a few months ago, which is a cryptocurrency exchange, get chartered in Wyoming to act as a bank. And that was big news. That was, the first instance of banking and cryptocurrency coinciding in the same space. Um, well, yesterday it came out that Anchorage, which is backed by Visa, uh, received a federal bank charter. So it's not just the state of Wyoming; it's every state. It's a federal charter. So this is this is huge. Um, let's see the decision by the Office of Comptroller Currency, which oversees the federal banking system, issued Anchorage charter follows a series of recent crypto-friendly decisions by the agency head, your good friend and neighbor, Brian Brooks.
Who is gone now. Stepped
Oh,
down actually today was his day. He's stepping down. Unbelievable news. These guys come in, they write these critical laws and then they bounce out. So I'm going to
oh,
be interested to see where he ends up, but he's gone
mm,
supposedly. But yeah, I was I mean, he's a banker and he's like the rest of them, but I was kind of a fan because he was kind of a no-nonsense, huge advocate for crypto and he's done a lot for crypto. I mean, just period. Just this law alone, it's huge.
yeah, yeah. So, my friends out there who are more interested in the stock market might want to take a closer look at Visa because this could give them a huge upper hand.
Visa, man, they are and they've been in it for so long too. They're
Yeah, I know.
embedded with they have ties with Ripple, with banks, with
I know they need more competitors as well.
yeah, they were smart though. They saw crypto, they're like, wow, this is gonna do something. This is
It's
gonna
either
be
yeah,
huge and we're getting
boy,
into it.
yeah, that's either get on board or go down with the ship. Get off board or go down with the ship.
Yeah, so I mean, we heard regulations were coming out. Now we're gonna see what it's all about because it's, what are you gonna do with Bitcoin? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna ban it? Because that's really the only thing they can do now that it's approaching $1 trillion in market cap. That's why it's hitting the fan, right?
Well,
It's
I
big.
mean, they wouldn't. He wouldn't be making regulations like this if they were going to ban it.
I know. I think this is all.
They're just trying to shift the control of it over to the. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not going to get many.
No, and now you're hearing
On this one.
countries. Now you're hearing countries like Venezuela.
Iran.
Yeah, they're mining this stuff, man. I mean, they're totally like, yeah, we're small. Our currency's garbage. We got to do it.
Yeah.
Good for them too, you know.
Well, That's the beauty. It gives the freedom to anybody.
Yeah.
But even though they're probably Venezuela, I wouldn't consider a. Well, they're not friendly, but they're humanitarily they're not good. What they've done to their people is unbelievable and shameful.
Right. And look at that, all that while they're sitting on all that oil. How could you do
Mm.
it? How could you screw that up, man, when you have such a valuable commodity?
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's because it's all that money is sitting in a few top people.
Yeah, well, when you get well, I'm not even gonna go there. Forget
Oh,
it.
don't get into that, Crash.
I'm not even going there. I gotta protect my family.
Yeah,
So,
so it's
anyways, what else we got? Anything?
not really. I wanted to talk about the governments. We did that. We got our two crypto intros. Check out Theta and is
You
it
do.
Hype? Is it you? What do you call it? Udoo? That's the
You.
token, right?
Yep.
Udoo. UDOO.
You
No,
do.
this
Hyper. Yep.
right. This is not financial advice. Don't forget that. Do your own research. Entertainment purposes only. Hit the like and subscribe, people. Keep.
Like, subscribe, bell, all. Like, subscribe, bell, all.
There you
Yeehaw.
go. And dare to drop a doggone comment. What do you want to talk about? What do
Yeah.
you want to see? So yeah,
What do you want more of? What do you want less of?
exactly.
Okay.
So we'll see you guys on the next one, and over and out from Edy.
Over and out from Crash in Indonesia. Night all.
See ya. So Crash, what's going on, man?
Dude, we're not going to get any views. That's going to get blocked for sure.
You think so?
Yeah, remember when we talked about anytime we talk about CB, um, we get
Yeah.
no views whatsoever.
It's not like FMs. It's not like we mentioned the things that people wear these days all over the place.
Uh,
But,
uh,
what are you going to do, man?
I don't know.
That's why we got to move over to Theta. Or Udoo.
Perhaps. I don't know. Somewhere. Everywhere.
Well, it's going to be, yeah, for sure.
There's got to be an app out there or a way of setting up accounts and just one click to all of them.
There is, too. I think there's like a streaming app. I've heard them talk about. It's called Real Stream or Real. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. Once our subs start blowing up, like we get past. I mean, we are clipping along at about 10-15% growth a day.
Well, I know, but it's like we'll have 1,000 views, and then I'll look at it 2 hours later, and it'll be 10.
I know, that's weird, right?
Yeah,
That's the algo. It's all sorts of false information, people.
Yeah.